see if I can adjust this just a little. Whoops, pull the whole thing out. I think that'll do. Hello, hello. Jess, you're first. Yay! Keith says hi. He was the second. Hey, Valerie. Hi, Robin. Hi, Misty. Hi, Trina. Hi, Destiny. Hi, Rhonda. Rhonda, it's good to see you. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Jewel. Hey, April. Hey, Kathy. Hi, Megan. Hi, Karen. Hey, Miss Terry. Hey, Amanda. Wow, y'all are on it tonight. Hey, Jennifer. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Miss Sharon. Hey, Jeanette. What y'all doing? Lord, is it cold in your neck of the woods? Hi, PJ. Hey, Megan. Hey, Eileen. Hi, Peggy. How you doing? You set an alarm for it. Thank you, April. Thank you, girl. Hi, Sunny. Hi, Donna. Jamie, how are you? Cold and wet, Sharon. In the 20s. Lord, it's raining, Amanda. Yep. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Janice. Hi, Charlene. Oh, Jamie, don't even come on here and say it's cold. Alaska. Child. Just how cold is cold, right? Hi, Miss Christy. Hey, Barb. It's actually warm in Montana. Wow. -15. Lord. Kathy, 61, 51. I believe it was 50 here today, which was a welcome change. It was a heavy frost this morning, though. For sure. What y'all up to? Are y'all staying good? You know the year just started. Child, you only 4 days into the new year. Santa Claus already watching for this Christmas, honey. Hi, Pam. How you doing? Yes, goodness. Look, thankfully here in Virginia, we have a short-lived winter. It was really, really cold. We've had some super cold days with wind chills, but this week I believe we're 40s, 50s. There's one day it's going to be 60, and that's unheard of for January. So we got to make through January, February, a couple weeks in March, and then we're on the upsize from there. Hi, Trisha. You been busy setting up your studio, not going to work at a shop anymore? Oh, are you putting it at your house, Janice? Me too, Sharon. Ditto, girl. You would love -20. Geneva, what is it where you're at, girl? Hey, Lynn. Hi, Susie. Yes, look, -50, Geneva. Lord, honey, my body couldn't take it. There would be no way. I would not leave my house, period. She wouldn't do it, girl. And you went to church this morning? Did you get cold feet? No pun intended. Ha ha. Just joking. Oh, goodness. In your hands. Lord, girl, I couldn't do it. Listen, I am going to teach the manicure tonight that I wore a few weeks ago. What am I talking about? Probably at least 2 months or so ago. Y'all remember me wearing this? This was my most questioned manicure. Jamie Wilson, if you're watching, you had a fit over this. You're like, Miss Trace, I gotta know what's on your nails. And I couldn't tell you because my product was still in testing. And then we've had all this issue with shipping and all the things. So I'm going to teach y'all how to do this tonight. I did it on short. I also did it on medium. And then I did it on long. And the long one, I put shiny top coat over. Aren't they beautiful? And they're easy peasy. They're so easy. So let's start prepping our nails. Oopsie. Hold on, I dropped one. Just a sec. There we go. We're using our new Liquescence creams. How many were here for... Where did we sample these? What's Queen's Court? Raise your hand if you were here for Queen's Court. Trisha Brown, you better raise a hand, girl. If you were here for Queen's Court, they got a 16-piece Liquescence creams that's coming. We were thinking December, but it didn't get ready in time for December. It's going to be most likely a few more weeks before all of that gets here. They got the first 16 pieces. It's a 38-piece Liquescence cream collection. But what did arrive... Now, look, I didn't give them these because I didn't have that many of them. But this is what I was wearing when Queen's Court was here. Y'all, I was wearing this manicure, and this is what I did it with. If you, raise your hand if you do press-on nails of any kind. Any kind of press-on nail. Let me see your hand. I'm telling y'all, if you work your press-on business the right way, you can have a really good side hustle. You go down here to the Burger King or any place else, you go make $10, $12 an hour at best. If you will put all of your thought process into a side hustle of your press-on nail business, whether you have one or not, there's one word, you got to be consistent, and you got to have a lot of press-on nails made. This product is so good for press-ons because it stays super, super thin. Super thin. Plus, with your press-ons, you can get to a point, you can get these to a point and then just let them sit overnight and let them dry. They don't need overnight. They need about 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. This is also really good for that client. Maybe you, girl, my nails is popping. Maybe you have already built the extension for your client and then they decide they want something different and you've maybe built the extension a little bit too thick. This artwork is paper thin because it's done with Liquescence. So whether it's a natural nail, whether it's a press-on nail, Liquescence can also be used over lacquer. How many of you still use lacquer at your pedicure chair for pedis? You can't stamp over lacquer. You can't paint gel nail art over lacquer. There's not really a whole lot you can do on lacquer other than throw a little bit of glitter or maybe a little bit of candy chrome in it, right? Not Liquescence. This works so good with your lacquers. So tonight we have the debut of the 6-piece. It's called the Ignite Collection. And we are going to put you a free brush cleaner in here. And it'll say, mine doesn't have the little tab on it, but it'll say brush cleaner on the bottom. Just because this is how I want you to clean and condition your brushes when you're using it with Liquescence. It's normally $69 for the 7-piece. It's on sale $59.99. So let's go over real quick how to clean your brushes. And then this design is so easy. I'm going to show you how to do it. It also, look, I didn't get this one finished, girl. Liquescence makes these ghosty flowers that are incredible. Incredible. You don't need a code. It's already on sale, Jessica. Look at this. If you do alcohol inks, you can tint this with your alcohol inks, and that is done with the white Liquescence. In this little baby bundle tonight, you're going to get the pink, the neon yellow, the neon blue, the neon orange, the neon green, and the white, plus the brush cleaner. It's a 7-piece set. It's so easy. It's unbelievable. Now, if you've watched my tutorials before, I've already told y'all and shown you how to set up a wet palette to keep your Liquescence on while you're working. So don't forget that. I'm going to put a little bit of No Buff on here. These are our press-on nails. This is, let me make sure I'm telling you right. What is this? This is the short squoval. I just pulled a black one from there. The medium size is the short ballerina. She's a little bit longer than the short squoval. And then that long one is from the long stiletto. These are so handy when you are doing press-ons. So we're going to start with some No Buff. And No Buff pre-etches your press-on nails so you don't have to buff them. You want to massage that in until it kind of gets sticky and tacky feeling. Can you see that? Oh, that's a good shot, girl. That's a good shot. There we go. And then I pulled out a press-on gel. Rapid Ready press-on gel is really good for your press-on nail tips as a base coat. So let's go ahead and base coat that. Thank you, Amanda. You're going to love using this. Look, y'all, when the big set releases, I want a free class with that because I really want you to learn how to use the product in such a way that you're not just buying it and leaving it on your shelf. This is a gold mine kind of product that's very, very, very flexible, and we can use it with a lot of different things that we already have in our salon suites. Now, when I base coat my press-ons, I try to half coat it like this. Let me get this off of here. Did you see me do that? I half coat it this way, and then I like to turn it around and half coat it this way. That way I'm not dragging the brush underneath this press-on and getting product all up underneath there, because if I get product underneath there, and I don't know, Megan Ball, since you're the last one showing in my comments, if Megan Ball buys this set from me and she has one of these pop off 9 times out of 10, that's why, is because I've had product gather up underneath. So in order to fix that, I would have to take my e-file up underneath there and file that out. So just turn it around, do half and do half. Always polish towards you. Even if you're polishing color, polish it like this. Get yourself in a habit of doing it. Look, y'all, time is money. Time is money. And we don't have time to sit there and redo and redo and redo. All right, let's go in the light with these.
Sunny asked on colored press-on nails, do you hit the underside with no buff before you send them out to customers?
Sunny's asked a good question. On the colored press-ons, she wants to know if you hit the underside with no buff before you send them out. The answer is no, because no buff goes inactive after 15 minutes. So it's not going to do any good, Sunny. While it might pre-etch it, it'll shine you right back over. Personally, what I would do, if you're worried about that, I would file underneath there. Yeah, I would file underneath there. I would agree with you, Maria. Your work is beautiful. But let me say something and say it very gently. And I'm not saying this just to Maria. If you're spending 8 hours on a set of press-on nails, you're not going to be able to sustain that. You have to get your press-on game down to about 90 minutes per set. 90 minutes to 2 hours, because some work is very intricate on your press-on nail, okay? So use your judgment there, but yeah, that's about the threshold you want to be. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go in this Velvet Touch Matte Top Gel. And speaking of, when you have prepped your nail tips like this, these are huge time savers. I don't know how many, do you know how many different kinds of these colored nail tips we have? Probably 10 or 12 different lengths and shapes, don't we? Yeah, no, it's okay. These are not only a huge time saver, but when you are painting an all-over color, especially if you've used a natural color nail tip and you don't get that color wrapped all the way around that free edge, child, let me tell you, the press-on nail people go send, your customer go send them back to you, honey. So this ensures that it's colored all the way through. Beautiful colors, beautiful shapes, and there are, like this long stiletto, there are different colors in this box than there is in short ballerina, for example. I am actually wearing a press-on nail, girl. I put on, I don't think I have any of these left. I don't, because I emptied out a cell. I'm using the short squoval. And there was a really dark, dark hunter green in here. Those of you that have this box know which one I'm talking about. I put that on, and over top, girl, because she popping. I know y'all want to know what I'm wearing, don't you? Let me show you. I know you do. I am wearing Is this what I'm wearing?
Jessica says serious business.
I think it's this one. Universal Truth. I think. Now that I'm thinking about it, it might be the one that was in the Christmas Beetle box. It's one of those. It's one of those. Girl, it's pretty, isn't it? All right, now that we've got this on, we're going to go in with some Velvet Touch matte. And we're going to matte right over top of that. I know what you're going to say, Miss Tracy. Why did you just not start? That was a matte nail to start with. Because nothing is going to stick to this press-on nail unless you have primed it properly. Okay? Which means a primer and a base coat. Now watch. I'm doing the first half of that nail. I'm just going to go right on down the line here. I love working assembly line fashion. I can get in my game, girl, when I'm doing press-ons. And then I just keep going right on down.
Christy asks, what do you adhese them to what do you use to attach them to your nails?
What did I use to attach them? I just used nail glue for mine. But that would depend on your customer, how they're going to wear them. If you haven't taken my online press-on nail course, there's all kinds of really good information on how to start press-on nail business. There's lots of time-saving segments, modules. It's a 12-module course online. Megan Suggs says it's a great course. Thank you, Megan. It's like, here's what I liken it to. You know, all of these business modules like, like Mary Kay Cosmetics and those kinds of things where you only have to buy a little bit to get your starter kit, that kind of stuff. Basically, you're not buying anything. All of you all have, your salons are sitting full of product. You just need a different business avenue to put those to work. So your starter kit would be like buying your class. And that gets you started the right way in your press-on nail business. It's a small investment to start a whole nother arm or leg of your business with product that you already have on hand. You need to do it, Carolyn. You have lifetime access to it. Look, we're sitting on a new year here, y'all. If you have product within your possession that you are not using, that's money sitting on your shelf that you could be making, okay? I'm going to use 2 brushes for this. I have a 00 brush I'm going to use. And then, y'all, my 9mm. Hold up, let me get this one.
Jamie Wilson just came on.
Hi, Jamie. How you doing, boo? You need the press-on class, Trisha. It teaches so much more than, while it's press-on, it teaches press-ons. It also teaches discipline. It teaches how to stay focused on your projects. Like, it is so easy. Once you finish, I can't remember, Megan, is it the first, second, maybe it's the 3rd module? It might be the 2nd. By the time you finish the 2nd one, I've given so much information, you're already cutting your press-on nail set time down to about 90 minutes per set. Am I right, Megan, with the way I show you to set that up? So look, here's a 00 brush. Here's a 9mm brush uncut. Let me get it off of those nails. Here is a 9mm cut. Notice what she say here? Not cut. My little label tape there, because when you're using liquescence, the thinner the brush, sometimes, the thinner the line, because this paint is thinner, okay? And liquescence is an acrylic paint-based product, okay? Elizabeth is going to do it, and you're going to hold each other up. Okay, Trisha. So I don't really want the thinner brush. Not yet. Not yet. I just want you to be aware. I'm going to use 2 9mm tonight, one straight from the factory and then one that I've tailored. All right, let me put her back in. Okay. Let me put a little paint on my palette here. I'm going to start with white. White liquescence is very pigment dense. I got me some little wipies, and I just have some water over to the side here to clean my brush in. This is not my gel brushes. If you try to pick up your gel brush, first of all, you got to clean your gel brush in acetone before you can put it in liquescence, which has to be then cleaned in water. You'll never get all of the gel out of there. So that's why I'm sending you a complimentary brush cleaner. Here's what you're going to do, boo. Let me open mine. Mine's not even opened yet. When I'm finished painting, I'll put a little bit of that brush cleaner there. I'm going to go in my water. And I'm going to clean that brush just like this. And of course, if I have paint in there, it's going to wash out for me. It's going to color your pad. You can see that. But more importantly, what we want to do now is put that back in water and rinse out the brush cleaner. That's a no-no, because these brush hairs will fray and get all frizzy, and you'll never be able to keep that brush controlled. So what I like to do, let me put some out so you can see it, is I'm going to roll my brush in that brush cleaner, and then I'm going to roll it like this on my towel. And I leave enough of that product in my brush. Now all my hairs are nice and sealed up. Y'all following me there? Does that make sense, everybody? But you got to remember which one is your liquescence brushes versus which one are your gel brushes. Glue a stone on it, paint on it, write on it, something. And now before you use the brush, before you put it in liquescence, you got to wash it out in some water. And don't be surprised if that doesn't kind of harden and stiff up on you there. But the moment you touch it in water, she reactivates and it's clean. All right. So I've just put a little bit of that white liquescence right here. Look what we're going to do. Let me push this all to the side so I can get you in frame. Can everybody see okay? I'm right-handed. I like my palette to be on the right. I like my water to be on the right. I like all my towels. I'm going to go into the liquescence, my white liquescence, and I got something that cured into my nail there. I go paint right over it. Watch. I'm going to make a dot, and I'm going to press and release. I just made a comma. And I am going to do that all over the nail surface with frontwards and backwards little commas. And I have the wrong brush. I should be using my uncut 9mm, and I have the 00 in my hand. Let me switch it. We'll pretend like that was an uncut 9mm. See the density of that white over black? And then another comma here, boing, and another comma here. If you can write a sentence, you can draw a comma. The only difference is you're trying to draw it with a paintbrush versus a marker or a pen, right? And a backwards comma.
Sunny says this is where your scroll work class comes in handy.
And a backwards comma. Thank you, Sunny. And I'm even going to go down in and tuck in some little baby commas wherever I can tuck in an extra. Oh, maybe I'll put one here. Oh, child, hold your breath. Okay, and that's almost dry. Feature of liquescence is it's very quick drying, extremely quick dry. We're going to set this one to the side. And we're going to go with the medium. Now look, the reason I did a short, a medium, and a long, how many of you have been working behind the chair and somebody brings you in a design and they're like, I want this. And it's on a nail this long, but they nail half this long. Child, how are you going to fit all of this on here? so many times. It's the most common question that I get asked is, Miss Tracy, how in the world do we scale down artwork for smaller nails? This is how you just change the direction. You see, if we isolate this little nail here, what we just painted in white, look what we've done on the medium nail. We've painted the same thing. I've just turned it sideways and made it bigger. Okay, so now let's go with medium size nail, the uncut 9mm, turn this sideways. And now we're going to make a little comma. Now, if I weren't painting over black, I wouldn't paint this out in white to start with. I would just go right into my color. But this is what makes it so dramatic. You know Miss Tracy extra, honey. So because I'm extra mean, I have to take a couple extra steps. Right? Oh, maybe we make another comment here. If you have not had any of my scroll work classes, boy, do they ever help as far as how to load your brush, what kind of pressure to put on, what kind of products to use.
And yes, would the watercolor brushes work?
Watercolor brushes will work just fine with this. Yes, ma'am. We have 2 different sizes in our watercolor brushes. We have a watercolor pen, and then we have a mini watercolor. And oh, let me get a little bit extra and I'm going to drop this one way, way down low and bring that in. Oh, maybe I'll stop. Oh, I don't know. Let's do one more. Okay, so there is the coffin shape or ballerina nail. I'm going to tuck a little something in the side right over here. I like doing asymmetrical artwork because it's not right in the middle of the nail, so your client can't actually say, oh, she got this one in the middle of the nail, and then she got this one off to the side, honey. Girl, stop. Right there we go. All right, now we let her dry. Let's put her over here. Last but not least, I think I'm going to position this one differently. Let's put this one back here where the cuticle area is at. Same thing, comma, backwards comma. Now, I still have not washed my brush out. At this point, I'm feeling a little drag. I kind of feel like I need to. Let me wash her because that paint is drying in the tips of my brush. Here we go. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Tammy. And another comma. Again, if you're working on a tiny nail, you may not be able to fit 3 of these across the back. This is nothing but forward comma and backward comma, and I'm gonna pull down this way. Maybe I'll kind of do something like that. I can get in my groove painting line work, painting scroll work. I love line work. I don't know if anybody is with me or not. I want to teach some really intricate line work this year. Who want to learn it? Who want to learn some line work with Miss Tracy? Anybody? Will you do it, girl? You will? Like, I'm talking detailed line work that make your eyes crisscross, honey. Look, when I paint my coffee beans, has anybody seen my little full landscapes I paint on my coffee beans? It's on my TikTok channel. One time I painted those, I got vertigo because my eyes were focused so much on that tiny detail painting. My doctor told me, she's like, girl, you got to take a break. She said, your eyes are painting too much tiny detail. Oh, look at this, how pretty. And this one side, I am going to swoop down a little bit lower. Oh, child, she is already pretty. Okay, and then we just let that dry. Now look, nail number 1 is already dry. If you are putting this on 2 designer fingers, not accent fingers, but designer fingers, go ahead and put the first hand on this much let her dry while you put the next hand on. I got to set up my palette here. Let me get my paint on my palette. My TikTok name is Brush Whisperer. I wish you'd go follow me. I am the Brush Whisperer on TikTok. Girl, quit it. Girl, quit it. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all something I'm going to start on my TikTok channel this year is a painting in a night. I'm going to do a live watercolor painting one on my TikTok channel. And you can actually get the pattern and everything from me so you have it early and you can paint it with me, honey. A painting a night, and it's a little watercolor. You gonna do it? It's appropriate. All right, now here we go, Gigio. Because we're painting on black, that's why we've underpainted in white. I've put all those neon colors on my little palette here. Let's see. I don't know if I can get all this in frame. Let me lay a little bit, put a little bit of this orange on my brush. I got too much water in my brush. And now watch what I'm going to do. Just pick whichever stroke you want. I got to take my hat off. My hat keeps tapping my phone. Pick whichever stroke you want and press, 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 and overpaint. Oh, child. Look, now I'm not even going to wash out my brush. I am going to dry wipe my brush. Just like that. I'm going to go right into the next color, which is going to be hot pink. And I'm going to overpaint. Dry wipe. I'm going to go into blue. Oh, maybe I want blue here. Oh, that's a strong blue, girl. That's a little too much blue. Let me take a little off. Dry wipe. I'm going to go into green. Dry wipe. And now I'm going to go in this highlighter yellow. And boing, there she is. Are y'all seeing how easy that is? A little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue. Now make sure you got your dotting tool nearby, because I think this is pretty. If you go into your white, and you just go up in here with a few little white dots. And I missed one of my little things down here. Hold on, let me overpaint this one. Now, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We're just going to set that aside. While we're on this step, let's do this step for all of them. Okay. Here, I'm going to do 2 colors on a stroke. I'm going to start with the green. Watch, press, let up on the pressure, dry wipe the brush, go into blue because blue and green are highly related to each other. And while that paint is wet, go on the bottom of the stroke. And now we have a blue into green. Again, I can kind of get mindlessly lost. Now, if I want a purple, which I do not have yet, we're going to go pink. We're going to go blue. We're going to make us a purple. Look at this purple. Oh, child. Look how pretty. It's like a neon purple because we're using neon pink and neon blue. And here, a little bit of purple. I got a little too much water in my brush. Maybe here I go in with some purple and then I wipe my brush and I let that fade out to pink. Pink. Little yellow, little orange. Oh, maybe a little orange and yellow combo here. And look, if there's any area that you want to deepen, just let it dry a little bit and go right back over top it. Here, a little orange, a little yellow. Are y'all seeing how quick this is? This is not a greatly time-consuming artwork. And we let her dry. Look, the first one's already dry. We'll come back to that in just a sec. I'm using the Ignite collection of Liquescence creams. Now look, because these are neons, y'all need to shake these up before you put them out on your palette, okay? The Ignite collection of the Liquescence creams. All right, let's rock on. Let's rock on. Look, while I got that orange on my brush, I'm going to put this on a couple up in here. Now I'm going to go with yellow. Am I the only one that really loves neon stuff like this? This is just, it's really different. This is not something you're going to see every day in a design work. Number one, people don't want to take the time to learn it. But number two, it requires a fair amount of control over your brush. Right? Oops, I got enough yellow on there. Let's go into some pink over here. And a little bit of pink here. A little green. Little green. Little green. And how about a little bit of orange down over here? And there is that one. Look, you don't want this fully covered. I'm putting enough pressure that when I press the brush, the white is showing through in some of those. That's the whole look of it. So I'm going to slide that one to the side. Now we're going to bring this back in. Remember I showed you the 9mm cut brush versus the 9mm uncut brush. This is uncut. This is cut. This is uncut. So now we're going to go in with 9mm cut. We're going right back into this white Liquescence. And look, she's still good on my palette here. Much, much thinner brush. And I'm going to come up between these and I am going to outline just a little bit like that. Girl, stop. Just quit it. Not every one of them. Oh, maybe I want to add a little extra one here. This brush has like a little fish hook on it. I need a new one, but I've just not made the plunge and got one yet. You know what I'm saying? And so now we're just detailing a little bit in between with some white. You could actually detail this with metallic if you would like. I think the white really pops it, makes it set off, honey. And we'll stop right there on that one. Watercolor brushes can be used in Liquescence. Yep, just clean them out real good. Here we go, GGO. Let's come out here. Oh, Lord. Again, using the white Liquescence. What we want to do, what sets you apart from other salons, other nail artists, is if you offer something different. Yes or no? Yes, you better believe it. Anyone, or let's put it this way, many people are designing press-ons. Matter of fact, the market is very saturated with press-ons. But you tell me, how many press-on nails have you seen with this type of design work on it. Or have you seen it? Probably very few. Sunny says 0. Is that a pretty good indication of where you should start with your press-on nail work? It should be, shouldn't it? It should be. Look, you could elevate this if you wanted to do our black silk chrome powder over the base of this before you started painting any of your design. So then your black would be chrome underneath. Girl, that would be pretty, wouldn't it? I'm just using a little daughter and going in and just very finely, just very fine. You think you got a bit discouraged because many companies are selling packs of press-ons for $12. Those are most likely pre-made nails, Maria. They are not artisan nails. Press-on nails cannot be compared to each other. Press-on nail per press-on nail. It's just like the company that's copied our gel polish bottle. You got to paint what's inside, honey. You got to use what's inside. So, you know, you can't really market yourself as a press-on nail artist. You market yourself as a handmade press-on nail artist, or someone who makes artisan type nails, custom nails. And usually those $12 packs only have 10 nails in it. And you just kind of guessing on the size nail you're going to need. There's no customer service. There's no, oh my gosh, Maria, I bought nails from you to wear to my sister's wedding. I've actually lost a nail or I broke a nail. Can I please order a replacement nail? There's none of that with a $12 pack of nails. Y'all, don't be comparing yourself to that, okay? Take it from one who knows, one who had to stop making press-ons because I got so busy, I just couldn't do it anymore. Take it from one who knows there is a market for it. You just have to find your right people. Don't be comparing yourself to them $12 nails, honey. A $12 set of press-on is like shopping at the $1.25 tree. Keith's over here laughing. I don't buy too much at the $1.25 tree. I do buy some glue and some other things. Nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with shopping at Dollar Tree, but not for press-on nails and beauty products. We are artists. We've spent a lot in our training. Child, look here. And the thing is, not any machine can replicate what we've just done. Not a single machine. So even on the $12 nails, you will never, ever see a design like this. You go see some chunky, shiny 3D. Y'all know how I feel about shiny 3D. 3D should never have a top coat on it. So the fact that your 3D is shiny and top coated tells me that it's pressed out by a machine. Girl, quit it. Oh, yes. Look at her, how pretty. And now, just like that, she is done. Look here, let's bring all these back over in here. Where's my little magnetic bar? Where'd she go? We got short. You'd rather be pressed out by Miss Tracy. Medium. And we got long. The long one is almost dry. These other two are completely dry. Now look, very important. You cannot skip this step. When we're working with liquescence, first of all, we put a matte top coat on here, okay? Liquescence really should only be used over velvet matte. Velvet matte grabs those pigments in liquescence, and that's what makes it super bright. That's what makes it dry really quickly. That's just what makes liquescence liquescence. Now, once she dries, She has to be sealed with metallic glaze. No ifs, ands, or buts, or questions. If you're not going to seal her with metallic glaze, if you're not going to take the time to do it, just don't do it. Because there is nothing sticky on there. And because we have painted more than 25% of the nail surface with an acrylic-based Liquescence paint, it must have something for your top coat to hold on to. So this is not a top coat. We're going to seal her up with some metallic glaze. Then you can top coat it. So if you want her to be matte after your metallic glaze, then just put your matte top coat on. What I like to do, especially if I've liquescenced at the free edge, I am going to catch that capped area, quote unquote. I'm going to catch the free edge first. Then as I stroke down, I'm catching that little lip of product that's there. So I don't have a bubble on the free edge of that. And let's go ahead and cure this. This Ignite collection I'm using tonight is not in the 38-piece collection of the Liquescence creams that we have coming. These are separate. Now the white is in that collection. In my opinion, you can never have too much white. I use double and triple the white that I use everything else anyway. And let me just double check here. We're dry. Beautiful, beautiful colors in the Liquescence creams. If my memory serves me correct, Jess, I believe there's 3, maybe 4 shades of red in Liquescence creams. Like beautiful teals, chocolates, flesh colors. And this adds 0 bulk to the nail. Can y'all see that? If we painted this in gel polish, what would have happened when we put this metallic glaze on? What would have happened? Somebody tell me. Where would that light line be? Girl, she'd be from here to Paris. And it would be wonky and up and down in every place. Look how straight our light line is because it's so flat. Here is that first one with a matte top coat. Let's put a shiny one on this one so we have one to compare to. Let's see here. And by the way, if you're in BeetleBox VIP, I have to show you real quick before I forget, honey. I was photographing this today for I was just photographing. I have an orange peachy shirt on. It's what's reflecting in it. But this is part of their BeetleBox VIP lessons for January. Girl, so pretty. And if you're not in BeetleBox VIP, it's not too late to subscribe because this is the last month of BeetleBox. I'm a little bit emotional. BeetleBox has been my baby for 5 years and she's getting a new name next month. She is moving to the Nail Art Toolbox. I'm not going to show you what she is, but this is in your BeetleBox this month. From here on out, if gel polishes are special made in this gold bottle, they are only for the Nail Art Toolbox. You can't buy it on the website. Like, it's not going to be there. It's only in the box. Now, something new that's coming when the Nail Art Toolbox comes up is you can go back and get past boxes. If you're a new subscriber, we will have past boxes until they sell out, obviously, that you can go grab. So, yes, honey, let me cover up the color of that and let me cover up the top because she is beautiful. You're going to love this. She is also, look, TPO HEMA free. Woohoo!
Somebody
Can you stamp with liquescence? No, you cannot stamp with liquescence. No, no, no. Let's see. Did I cure that? Hold up. No, I have not cured that. And put that in the light. Can't stamp with liquescence. She'll dry too fast on you. And last but not least, okay, let's top coat these. Let's see, we have one of these that's shiny, so we'll make this one matte.
It says, does the current subscription stay the same?
Does the current subscription stay the same, or do you sign up again? It stays the same. If you're signed up now, you don't have to sign up again. Yep. It's just the look, the products. The look is changing. You'll still have Queen Ladybug product in there from time to time. She's just getting a total facelift. It's time. It's going on 6 years. Can you believe? Beetleborgs almost 6 years old. I cannot believe it. Where is time going? She running away from us, honey. I know that's the truth. 6 years, and we have not had a price increase in 6 years. Is the new subscription going to stay the same price? Yep. She will. You've only been getting it for 3 years. Thank you, Janice, for hanging with us for 3 years. Look, child, I've already said it. I am not the person for you to come sit beside of if you don't need anything, honey, because I need it all. Just like this. Keeps laughing. Just like this, you guys. When I first started testing liquescence and saw how flat I could make that sit on the nail, I'm like, girl, where you been all my life? You know, back in the day, if y'all been doing nails long enough, back in the day, some of y'all, all you had to work with was lacquer and acrylic paint. Sonny, do you remember that? And then when gel polish came on the scene, everything went to gel. And I know why some of the acrylic paints were dropped is because they're like craft type paint and not cosmetic grade paint. Okay. But still the concept was good. And when that's all we had, that's all we had. And so now we're back to innovative products that can kind of fill the need, the best of both worlds. Not everything needs to be painted in gel, you guys. And as quick as that was, and as quick as this dried, come bright season, you get it. Now you have time to practice up on your skills beforehand. But I wore this manicure right here in November. Nobody said, oh, girl, you wear neon colors in November. Nobody said that. You know what they said? Girl, who does your nails? Who does your nails? Right? Jess says she still has some of her original brushes from Michael's because you couldn't buy it anywhere else, right? Exactly. That's the only place you could get things. Anyway, don't get me started on that. Here is our little, there's our matte and our shiny. Here's our matte and our shiny. Oopsie. Some of your neon gel polishes would be beautiful additions to this. Matte and shiny. And then here is our little coffin ballerina shaped one. When I wore these, I wore on every nail, I wore it French style like this. I had it on the tip of every single one of my nails. What y'all think? Is this easy enough for you to try? Now look, if you're not a hand painter, because somebody's going to message me and tell me that, here's what I recommend. Stamp you a design in white that's really bold. Let that dry, and then just how I overpainted in my neon, which this black paper is washing out my neons here. I didn't think of that. Look here. There we go. See what a difference that makes putting it on white? So just stamp it in white and then paint over it with your neon colors. Easy peasy. So in the bundle tonight, you get the 6 colors of the Ignite collection. These are 5 milliliter bottles, so you have 30 milliliters altogether. And they're so concentrated in color, it does not take very much. You get that, and then we're going to send you a free brush cleaner. Now let's clean our brush after we got all this paint in it here. Because, child, these things would be bustling. Look here. We're going to go over here in this brush cleaner. Water. And now go into the plain brush cleaner and seal that brush up so she stays just like that. You were going to do that, Valerie? Good. Will you tag us in it? Valerie is like, I joke. I say, are you a mad stamper or are you a glad stamper? I call Valerie the mad stamper because her stamping has so many layers to it. Not like mad as in angry, like mad as in, girl, she is a stamping machine. Is the brush cleaner used for other products? You use it with your liquescents and all your watercolors. Don't put your gel brushes in this. You should also be cleaning your alcohol ink brush with this, because that alcohol ink brush, look, I might have one that's not cleaned. Let me see. Hold up. Hold on. Girl, that alcohol ink brush, she will go all wonky on you and frayed it. Look here. Look how bad. Alcohol ink brush. I am going to put that in some acetone. But, you know, she's going to fray right back out the moment she dries because she has nothing in there. So we can go into this brush cleaner, little bit of water, and clean our alcohol ink brush now. Oh, girl, look at the stuff coming out of her. She nasty. And then seal that brush back. Look, 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 look. This will really protect and condition the hairs of anything that's water-based or alcohol ink-based. And the brush cleaner is available by itself as well, isn't it, Keith? All right, so in the bundle, it's $10 off. You get all 6 paints and then the brush cleaner. Any other questions on Liquescence creams? Look, I can't wait till the big set is here that I have to send y'all. Like I said, the ones that were at Queen's Court training, they got part of that set already in their kit that they were here that week. This is the Ignite Collection Liquescence Creams. Very, very easy to use. Dries quick, nice and flexible. Won't crack under your metallic glaze. If you don't have metallic glaze, be sure you grab this to seal up your liquescence with. And this is the new bottle, by the way. I think somebody asked me, about this on the live Wednesday. Were y'all with me Wednesday night when we rang in the new year? Girl, look. Are the watercolors for New Year's Eve class in? They're coming in this week. This week! Yes. We hope to have them going out to you by Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday or Wednesday. Yes, honey. Just hold your horses. Just hold your horses. Hold your breath. Cross your fingers. You're very welcome. Go find me on TikTok. I'm the Brush Whisperer. I'll talk to y'all later. Good night.